This is your daily market recap for Tuesday, March 22nd, 2022. Let's go. This is Dan Max at EXP Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is my stock, Bitcoin, gold, and silver daily market recaps. Please subscribe if you like what you see. Thank you. This is Dan Max at EXP Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market recap for March 22, 2022. It is what I thought may have been a turnaround Tuesday, but let's get into it. First off, if you are not a part of the Discord room, check out the link in the description below. We are always talking about the markets, the Feds, metals. Again, a lot of topics. This is an interesting little thing here. I'll leave this here while people can read this while I'm talking, but tons of education in the side rooms. I know a lot of people come and go, but in trading, it's a long-term love or hate. You know, if you really want to be good at it, it's like anything. You got to practice it, and you got to know what's going on. You got to be involved. And if this board can be something to help you, please don't hesitate to check it out and hit me up and let me know why you stopped by. All right. Bitcoin, as always, we start here, even though it might get moved to the back if it keeps acting so boring. 45,000, 35,000, stuck in between. Now again, I don't own any, but if it pulls back to 30,000, which is major support, this guy will pull the trigger. So I am keeping an eye on that. I think that is interesting to me. I mean, not that it couldn't go lower, but the risk reward, let me zoom out a little bit. I mean, as you can see, that's the next major support level, 30,000. You know, 35,000 is potential. 45,000 is the roof, as I'm calling it. I mean, you can see the volume at price zones right here. You can see once you like break down, let me see if it'll open up. I hate TradingView, by the way. If you know me and you know why. Yeah, it's not really showing much of a volume at price node, which is weird because at 30,000, there's definitely some volume. People were trading it. So where is Q charts? It's still loading. All right. On that note, back to the Discord room. People had questions about specifically the VIX 6-day crush, the gaps above in the TLT. We'll take a look at that. And yeah, I appreciate you guys stopping by and chatting. It gives me a reason to keep an eye on this stuff even tighter and help everybody out. All right, here we go. Q charts is loading. It's not Q charts, it's e-signal now. I apologize. If you know me, you know I've been trading a long time, and that's it used to be Q charts if you were involved. All right, let's talk about the action. Now, I'm not saying, you know, look at the waterfall between 162 and 134. I mean, this is just, this is post why COVID. My brain is farting. Let me slip some coffee. You can see the TLT got absolutely shit hammered, slammed. It is not unlike such to happen. However, these current times and conditions, I would argue TLT bond market is in a bigger precarious point than any point before going into a midterm election. If you're the Democrats, and again, let's not make this political, even Republicans, whatever, you don't want to see the economy, you don't want to see higher rates in the economy get slammed going into a midterm, because guess who's going to own it? The party that's in control, the guys that have been in Congress. Check out the monthly. We talk about the action. You know, I wish I would have focused more on this trend line because it clearly became important again. It took months though, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. This big red candle, pretty strong. Now keep in mind, March of last year was the bottom. It's March of 2022. We are below the 100 month. Is that possible? Could we come into this trend line in the low 120s? Absolutely. I would recommend, though, that if you are trading TLT, that you do not just blindly hold until that point. But keep in mind, as you draw this, you hopefully can see there's major trend line confluence. Also here, I'll draw a little box. You got the volume at price node here, sticking way the hell out there. Could it bottom beforehand? Maybe. At this point, it's not looking like it. The 5-day range on the daily was violated. Am I holding because I'm an idiot? partially, and I know I'm usually early. It is this action can be violent, but there's a signal here that's got me a little bit confused. And if you're looking at volume, you see that Friday action? That was a ton of volume. Now, again, is it short squeeze? Was it a short-term thing? I don't know. But there's volume, there's buyers down here, and that action signifies to me that we are getting closer than not to the bottom. I mean, same thing when you had it here. And then it ended up going a little lower. Not surprised. How much lower? Well, based on the monthly analysis, 124, 125, that is in the playbook. How far off is that? It's not. I am in some of this. I've got some options, longer term options. Am I fully invested? Y'all know me. I'm not layering in. I'm not full in. No way. I have bullets to fire if needed. I have the struggle with the process of the signals. It's a little difficult. I mean, you can see it. You can get these bottoms. You get a pop, and then it gets down. Let's see what happens here. Now, again, long term, keep an eye on things. Notice the volumes are much higher the last couple of weeks. Again, notice the green volume on the buys. Is that all short covering? I don't know. Again, I want a market that goes up naturally with both short covering and buying, natural buying. We'll see. Again, if you're in this trade, watch and learn, because you're going to see some shit that hopefully, will make open your mind to how something potentially can bottom and top, because there's time corrections and there's price corrections. This is clearly a price correction. Time is not the problem. Meaning, like, if you go watch the video about it, time correction is like a slow burn, like a slow bottom, takes forever. Like, this might be considered like the time correction post bottom and dollar. But you can't focus on TLT for more than a couple minutes, but it is interesting because the bond market is going to drive the action in the SPY. Hopefully people pay attention to that. Dollar holding up, volatility, not much, who cares? The VIX, absolute slam of a VIX, absolutely destroyed at the 100-day, making a little lower low. Is the 200 in play? You betcha, in 21 level. Keep in mind, the VIX was at 37. I honestly thought the VIX was probably going to spike into the 40s. I mean, the war's not over in Ukraine, but the powers that be that were buying VIX this quarter, well, you're going into the end of the quarter, and they don't want to look like they own it at this point. I mean, they're tossing it away like volatility is gone. Again, end of quarter. There's a video about the last three and the first 3 days of the month. It's same thing with the quarter. There's called window dressing. There's a phenomenon where people mark up, or the market will mark up prices or mark down prices based on the action of the previous quarter. Because guess what? Like, if you're the market maker, you're not going to hold up something that everybody's trying to sell if you can. You want it to get as low as possible. You're trying to get a wholesale price. I know you guys. I know how this works. So, VIX, this is where it gets interesting, because when you start pulling up the SPY, I took a shot at shorting last week. That was wrong. Absolutely wrong. That did not work. Where's the next spot? Let me clean up these charts, because I apologize. I'm doing this on the fly. I don't trade on this computer. This is my backup computer laptop that I take for when I travel. Again, if eSignal is listening, for the love of God, will you guys please get Mac? Will you please make a Mac version of this? It's just getting so dumb. Here's where I think the upside is, and we've talked about it on the Discord room. I would not be surprised if we fill the gap and hit the 100-day. At this point, you've got what feels like a bear market rally, because, again, like, this is what a typical bull market is, nice and slow. Like, this is pretty quick. Look at the size of these candles. Very reminiscent of this, and then as again, I warn people on the Discord room, please do not get short too quickly. Like, I get it. It's very tempting to short the SPY right here. Seasonally, tomorrow is bearish on the stock traders almanac. Just don't do it. Just wait. And again, if I'm wrong and it doesn't fill these gaps and get up here, well, guess what? You're wrong sometimes. But the best risk reward is, hear me out, is right here. You'll know very quickly, because if you get over this price, then you're gone. But if you short here, you're good. At this point, you're pulling. It's like buying TLT down here. You don't really know. Is the risk versus reward? I don't believe it. Again, when I'm shorting, I always know it's only a trade. You got to be very careful. While you can you can buy things near the lows for the long term, even though the time might suck, but at least, you know, over time, things tend to rise back after a big drop. Not the same shorting. Like this thing, I don't know what the hell could take it back up to 500 on the SPY, but you never know. You just never effing know. Could be money piling into the United States because the rest of the world is a freaking disaster. I don't know. But I am watching the markets and I see some signals that make me worried. Q's, it's probably got to be this little box here. That's what I've been talking in my mind. Let me stretch it out here. That to me would be probably the spot where the short 360s. This is what, you know, again, people who follow know, hey, you pay attention to the IWM. Well, why? Because the IWM topped in November and it bottomed in February 1st. In February beforehand, so the other indexes. Look at the IWM. It's really not acting that great. Now, again, I'm not trying to say, like, go out and short the market tomorrow, but these are the things you got to watch. Like, the IWM is, you would think the IWM would be at 220, not 207. I mean, pull this up. I mean, look at this action and then pull up the SPY. Like, it's like big brother, little brother. It's like, whoa, where are you at, IWM? And, again, the SPY topped in December on this, like, retest, and the IWM didn't. You know, like, is the IWM telling you something? Not saying for sure I know anything, but that's the kind of thinking. Like, again, that's why you don't look at the market in a vacuum. You look at everything. Gold. Blow up. Come back under the 20-day. End of quarter games. I don't know short term where it's going. Long term, we have broken the downtrend on the monthly. So if you can't handle monthlies, I would think there is going to be some monthly action because the quarter has been pretty bullish. We started at 164, and as long as it doesn't take it all away, I think money will come back into gold. Same thing with silver here at the end of the quarter. How strong? I don't really know, but I do like the wicks the last couple of days. You know, but get back over the 20-day. At this point, I think there's a trade there, but unless you nail the entry, it could get a little. You could get a little chopped out, chopped up, whatever you want to call it. Might be a little frustrating. All right, GDX, same thing, holding high and tight. 20-day has been a screaming buy, or was a screaming buy. At this point, I think you can see there's a wedge forming. Let the wedge play out. GDXJ, very similar. Keep in mind, these both have broken the monthly downtrends. Wedging, 20-day. Not a ton to say on the miners other than buy low, and then when they pop, you take a little off knowing that nothing goes up in a straight line. You can buy it back. AEM, acting really well, holding up. AG, you know, someone put an alert out today. Hey, check AG, filled the gap. Well, yeah, did for the most part. Well, did it? Good enough for government work, whatever. 1351 was the low today. 1355, close enough. Keep an eye on that. I think you got, these things are holding up really well considering the commodities are down. That's, I mean, is it the market lifting them up or are they natural strength because they might be undervalued? That's the $1 million, bazillion dollar question. PAAS. You know, talked about this one. It got up, needs to hold this old back test of trend line. Is it bullish or bearish? I would say it's neither until you make new highs. It is trending up, but doesn't mean it can't go sideways. You know, I explained this to people a bazillion times. Like, don't pretend that every day is this big green bar. No, it's a chop. That's how markets work. X. Over the week, the monthly trend line in green. Chopping, I don't really... I don't trust it. And the reason why I don't trust it is I don't trust the market. I honestly think X, if it was going to explode, would be breaking this trend line violently the last couple days. Unfortunately, it's not. And when I mean violently, like this thing could be, I mean, I want to see like a 22 to 20. I want to see like $3, $4 up candles, but it is acting well. So you can't really, you know, I don't own a full position. I told people I sold some up here, covered calls. I bought a little bit back in stock. I don't really have a lot to say other than I hope it pulls back at some point, but I would love to see it go higher, then pull back. Then I will add more. If right now it pulled back, I would not be surprised either. That's trading. Like if you think everything is 100% certainty of I can predict this, I can predict that, then fuck, tell me, like, what kind of weed are you smoking? Because it must be strong to believe that you have the capacity to literally move the markets, because that's pretty crazy. So I diverge back to the markets. CCJ, I like that, but I don't like today's action. It's indecision, but high and tight, my friends. If you heard me say that a billion times, I mean, there is buying on this trend. Go look at the monthly. What did I say? Probably gets towards 31, 32, and then you're going to hit a little bit of resistance. Not a bad trade, considering we were buying it at what, 23.80, 24, 20. Some people got even like 23.50s, which golf clap to you. Not a bad return. If it gets up to 31, just promise me you're going to take some profit, sell some calls, do something. Just don't be all in all the time. Apologize, I'm drinking coffee because it's been a long day. VALE, not in the office, unfortunately, just out and about. Bought it at the 100 or 250 day. We popped today's candle. Didn't fill the gap, but also didn't really do anything. We held this old trend line. This is why you leave trend lines. High and tight's fine. Mosaic CF. Hello, guys. Wish we would have gotten the 20 day. Never happened. Inside day, nothing wrong with it. When I say inside day, the action does not show you trend confirmation or change. This would be bullish, even though it made a higher higher and higher low. We broke this little downtrend. Man, I wish I would have gotten this level done. You know, when you look back at trades and you wish you could do everything that you want to do, but you have to pick and choose? Well, I didn't pick this. I picked CCJ, which ended up being okay, and VALE, as y'all know. I don't need to go review it, but I would have liked to have added some exposure to the agricultural fertilizer, potash, nitrate, whatever. All these companies have a ton of that shit portfolio. Anyway, good old Apple. Guess what? If you don't know, then you don't know. You know, I wish I would have, on my other computer, the trend line actually looks like this. Guess who hit it today? But that doesn't mean we couldn't go higher temporarily. This was our target, and I apologize profusely that I don't have this drawn. I'm going to say Apple's going to struggle with 170. I mean, 150 to 170, that's a big move for the fruit. We'll see what happens. Now, if you want to start shorting it, I give that my blessing, because, again, you got the risk versus reward straight line move. I mean, it might only pull back $3 to $5, but this is overbought. I mean, I don't need MACD and RSI to tell me that. I just know when it goes up, it pulls back. When it goes up, it pulls back. Goes up, pulls back. Fucking RSI and MACD, man. If you come into my room talking about that stuff as legitimate lore of promised goods and trading, then I will slap you around, because that stuff is just, it follows the price. You know, it just follows the price. So at this point, watch this downtrend. I mean, it's a really binary trade. You'll know very quickly if you're wrong, because you'll get stopped out, because you'll have stops. Oh, I didn't do AMD first. Man, my orders are all messed up. I apologize if you're watching this video and you're like, hey, asshole. Yep, 50, 200 day sideways. Again, we identified the highs. After this, it's all gravy. I know it's due to bounce, but this thing is not leading. Just leave it the freak alone. I mean, it is what it is. Tesla, congratulations. We broke the downtrend. We had a little doji sandwich yesterday and went higher. We're at the 100 day. I wonder if anyone's going to see this trend line at 1,000 and think about taking profits. Probably not. But keep in mind, this is why we have dirty charts. If you don't like dirty charts, then I don't know what to tell you, because if you want clean charts, you can't see everything. Is this going to be resistance? I would think so. 1,000 level. Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. I'm not bearish, but I think if you wanted to give that thing a short tug, I'm not gonna hate you for it. Again, bouncing around. Apologize. Roblox held the 20 day, broke the little wedge. I think it's got upside. I mean, it could move 10 points. I like it. I mean, know your risk reward. I don't think I would. Oh, gosh, I would not chase it. That's the hardest thing here. But is there a continuation pattern potentially? I mean, you got a little bit of a pop. Think of the rubber man. If you guys are not familiar, rubber band man theory, there's a video in the educational room that talks about it. Like, the farther, pretend the market runs with a rubber band around it, and in that it is always pulling on its waist, in that energy as it's used When it gets tired, it pulls back. Like if this is a downtrend, it gets tired, it needs to go up. Gets tired, it goes up. Well, notice what happened. For each iteration of down became less. Well, now it's popping, so it's due to pop. Could it fill the gap? That would be smoking awesome if you had the stock. PENN, hope that, again, check that out or stop by the Discord room. I'll explain it to you. Ooh, going fast. We need to get this thing over. PENN, head and shoulders bottom, said going into March Madness. I could see that. Abso-freaking-lutely. That looks okay to me. UTHR, keep an eye on it. It needs to get back over. You know, as long as it's holding 180, I like it. I think it could bet back up to 200. Talked about that. EXPI, love it. If you can get it down in the 20s, looks good. Back over the 20-day, get over the 50-day. Looks fine to me. Not a lot to say. Where's ExxonMobil? Let's end it on oil. Again, I have not chased oil. You notice I have not been pushing oil because the risk is not worth the reward in my mind in the near term. However, keep in mind what's coming up on the XOP, the 100-month and old IPO price. Would not be surprised if money finds itself selling. ExxonMobil, same thing. You have a broadening pattern. You don't have lower lows, which for their sakes looks good, but I just don't see this thing going up to 96 in the near term. I think the monthly is showing you that long ass wick. It's tired. Tired means at some point consolidation, and consolidation is healthy. There's nothing wrong with it. Keep in mind, it went from 30 up to 63, and then it consolidated for 5 months. I hope this kind of stuff helps. Again, stop by the Discord room. Apologize a long video, but there's just a lot of stuff going on in the market. It's not that simple. Thanks for watching. For more trading knowledge and insight, click on the videos on the right, and also join the Discord room. Link is in the description below. If you have any questions, please stop on by the Discord room and let's chat. Thank you.